Good morning. I guess it's still morning. It's 10:30. It's been a long morning for me already. I just want to say hello. I am Kelly, and I have been doing Young Living for 3 years, and I am currently at Gold. And I am coming today to talk about the health benefits of Ningxia. Lots of times we talk about how much energy it gives us, it tastes so good, it's antioxidant, but what all does that mean, and how is that actually helping our bodies other than just tasting good and giving us that extra boost that we need? So I am going to tell you a little story first. So I have 4 kids, and my youngest, Jet, is 7, and when he was 2, he was diagnosed with a pretty severe heart condition. I'd love to tell you the name of it, but I choose to keep only certain things in my brain, and that's not one of them. But I do have it written down. But anyhow, pretty much essentially when his heart pumps blood, the hole that pumps the blood out of his heart is super narrow. And so narrow that the faster his heart pumps the blood out, the worse it would get. So he takes medicine to slow down his heart rate so it doesn't pump quite as quick, to help try and keep that hole as big as it is, even though it's really, really tiny. They told us that it would never get better. The goal would be to do whatever possible to keep it the same. Medically, it's not possible to get better. Worst case scenario, if it continues to get smaller, he would have to have a heart transplant. So that's pretty stressful news and scary news when you have just this little kid and you're like, oh, great. And so we didn't really know in his life if he would be able to run around, play sports, any of that kind of stuff. And he's a pretty active kid. He's not like my other ones. He's really quite active. So to take medicine that slows him down, he's still pretty active. We started doing some research. When we started the oils, I started the Ningxia, and I started doing research on Ningxia and the heart and what the benefits were. Somebody must have mentioned it to me or something. And so I started doing some research, and the information I found on the health benefits are amazing. Not just for energy, but for your whole, just your body. So I'm going to mostly talk about the heart today, and I'm not diagnosing anything. I'm not saying run out, Ningxia will solve you. Obviously we can't do that, but I just want to tell you some of the main things that Ningxia does for your heart and why it is so beneficial, not just for energy, and why we would want those other things. So first, Ningxia is the most powerful whole food antioxidant known to man. It's it. So as far as antioxidants, but a lot of times we're like, what does that even mean? What are those antioxidants even doing? So I'm going to talk about 2 that Ningxia does for us that just everybody needs this. Because our food nowadays is no longer as healthy as it was way back. Way back they were eating farm fresh fruits and vegetables, and it had all its nutrients. Now with the chemicals on our, it's just not getting the nutrients, and we're not consuming the nutrients that our bodies needed to survive. So the 2 that I want to talk about is magnesium and potassium. Magnesium, I'm gonna have to read a little bit of this because this is real sciencey, and I am not sciencey at all. So when you are deficient in magnesium, it more than doubles the risk of heart disease. So magnesium is like huge. You have to have magnesium, a lot of magnesium in your body to not have that risk of heart disease. They say that you want your magnesium level to be 100 or above, to be above that wellness line where heart disease might not become a factor. So 100 above, that's just science. Ningxia gives you 130. That's huge. That's already putting you above that wellness line for, avoiding heart disease. Now, granted, you have to do lots of things to, live healthy, exercise, all that. But magnesium's huge. So if you can get, over more than you need of magnesium in 2 ounces of Ningxia, then drink the Ningxia. Good grief. The other one is potassium. So potassium, let's see, that's the lack of potassium causes high blood pressure, stroke, like all that kind of stuff. So that you need potassium to avoid all that stuff. So magnesium is what's gonna prevent your body from getting heart disease, and potassium is what's gonna prevent your body to get, high blood pressure or stroke and all that kind of stuff. So you need potassium. So Ningxia has 1,600 things of potassium. That's like the highest known food with potassium in it. That's it. You're not getting any food even close to that. So your 2 ounces that you drink every day is knocking those out to where you don't have to eat, pounds and pounds of broccoli or bananas or anything like that. I know my son is a swimmer. He could drink Ningxia when he got the cramps from swimming because it's a potassium problem. So those are just 2 reasons why, for health benefits, that you want to take Ningxia. So I have this book. See if you can read it. It's 15 New Discoveries That Will Stop Heart Disease. And it's all about Ningxia and how you can get yourself above that wellness line. There's also one on vision, which I won't even go into vision. But back to Jet. I brought a picture of Jet so you could see. There's Jet. Jet started taking 1 ounce of Ningxia. He actually took less than that when he was younger, when I first started. But now he takes 1 ounce. He has his own little cup. It's Jet's Ningxia cup. And I have a line in there so we know where to pour it. And I'm just going to tell you that I started him on this. He has to go to the heart doctor once a year. He used to go twice a year. Now it's once a year. And the first time he went before we started Ningxia, the first time he went back, his heart, so it was like 6 months later, his heart actually got worse and they put him on medication. The next time we went back, it stayed the same, so it didn't get worse, but it stayed the same, so that was good. We left him on the medicine. Then I read the stuff on the heart and started giving him Ningxia because I thought, well, why not? I will just go ahead and what could it hurt? I mean, we already have this bad diagnosis. What could it hurt? So he started taking 1 ounce of Ningxia. The next time we went back, his heart got better. Scientifically, medically, they said that's not possible. And because we had gone enough, it wasn't like, oh, they must have messed up their reading. We had a reading for 3 or 4 times before that one, and his heart got better. So the cardiologist says, what are you doing? Because this is impossible. So what are you doing to him? You must be giving him something that's strengthening his heart. And I want to know what it is. And I was like, well, prayer, lots and lots of prayer is number 1. Always give God glory first. But number 2, I'm giving him this wolfberry drink that's high in antioxidants. I read about it and she goes, don't ever stop. Forever give him that drink because whatever you're doing, his heart got better. They were even willing to take him off his medicine. So he goes back in April. It'll then be 1.5 years of being on Ningxia. So I'm excited to see what she says when we go back. So I hope that was encouraging. I hope that you realize that Ningxia is not just going to help your energy. It is not just going to help your numbers go up in your team. It's really powerful stuff. And if you do, you push nothing else after the starter kit, you push that Ningxia because the world needs Ningxia. So I hope that was helpful, and enjoy the next 12 days or however many days of our Ningxia challenge. See you later.